I think it's key when we think about one of the things that you said is that when you began to share some of your wisdom that you've had acquired up until that point, that some began to adapt some of your practices. You know, I had a similar experience. Like I shared with you, I had wrote a courting manual some years ago. And after I wrote it, I sent it to various elders I knew who were practicing the tradition to get some feedback and tweaking and whatnot. And they all loved it, you know, and many of them adopted some of the things that I had in there. And what I came to realize, and these were not necessarily unsuccessful families or unions, you know, so what I came to realize is that a lot with polygyny has to do with just your genetic and your natural inclination, you know, and if you can strip down a lot of the dogma, a lot of the demands and expectations, and just get to the core of your intuition as a man. And if the women who you're dealing with, if they're dealing with their core intuition as women, and you two can vibe on an intuitive level, a lot of this is kind of like having a child. A lot of it you'll figure out. It's a very natural thing to do, you know. And then of course, if someone comes along with information, you can start applying and putting things. But I think one of the keys with our information that we have to present is we have to start stripping away the things that we definitely know are blocking our natural connection to each other. You know, in your book, is that addressed? Not just the do's, but the don'ts.
Oh, yeah. In fact, that's why in volume 1, it's called An Introduction to Polygamous Culture and its Principles, Pitfalls, and Ethics, because there are definitely things that you don't want to do. And, of course, you and I discussed this off air. You know, I've said that I still to this day don't understand why a man would not tell another woman that he wants his other woman, because there's a fear there that you can't have as a man pursuing a polygamous marriage. You can't. Mm-hmm. And if you're trying to be out there playing around with various women, it's not for you. So that's definitely a don't.
Right.
You know, there are some things about this culture, specifically in North America, that you have to get out of your mind. For instance, that you have to be rich. Okay, mm-hmm. It helps. It does help. But when you bring everybody's powers together, you can create something which in and of itself creates riches.
Right.
Okay. And both of us have a tendency, we want to put everybody to work if they're not already working, but we like women who are busy, and we're building things ourselves. And mm-hmm. a man must ply a trade. So if he is kind of out there just floating around, he wants to get something that is viable and that is flexible. Okay. So not doing that is something you want to avoid. But some people just try to coast along and, I got women and and that's it. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You get too comfortable. I think you and I spoke about that the other day about, not being too comfortable when you're in a marriage.